What if your thoughts are shaping your entire life, without you even realizing it? Have you ever stopped to wonder how powerful your thoughts really are? I mean, not just in a think positive kind of way, but in the deeper sense. The kind of thinking that slowly, quietly shapes your choices, your habits, your confidence, even your future. What if your thoughts aren't just passing ideas, but actual builders of the life you're living? In this episode, we're going to explore something that might just shift how you see everything. The idea that you become what you think, that your inner dialogue, the quiet voice in your head, is shaping who you are becoming, moment by moment. So if you've ever felt stuck, lost, or unsure of your path, this episode is for you. Because sometimes the change you're waiting for starts with a new thought. And by the end, you'll see how even a small shift in mindset can quietly rewrite your whole story. Let's get into it. Is it really true that your thoughts create your reality? It might sound like something from a self-help book. Your thoughts create your reality. But is there any truth to it? And more importantly, what does that even mean in real life? The truth is, the way we think directly affects how we feel, and how we feel affects what we do. Think about it. If you constantly tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "this will never work," how likely are you to take a bold step forward? Probably not very. But when you begin to shift those thoughts, even gently, to "maybe I can figure this out," or "it's okay to try," something changes. You act differently, you feel different. This episode isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about becoming more aware of the quiet patterns in your thinking, and deciding whether they're helping you or holding you back. Because once you start noticing them, you get to choose. And that choice, that's where the power is. Why do negative thoughts feel so natural? It's strange, isn't it? How easy it is to think the worst, to doubt ourselves, to imagine what could go wrong. Sometimes it feels like our brains are wired to focus on problems, on danger, on what's missing. And actually, that's kind of true. Our minds evolved to keep us safe, to notice threats, to prepare for danger. But in modern life, this old survival system can backfire. Instead of lions in the jungle, we're afraid of failing at work, being judged, or not living up to expectations. And those fears turn into quiet, automatic thoughts. "I can't do this. They're better than me. Why even try?" The thing is, those thoughts aren't always true. They're just habits. Repeated mental patterns that have become comfortable. But just like any habit, they can be changed. Not overnight, not perfectly, but slowly, through awareness and intention. You're not your negative thoughts. You're the one noticing them. What happens when you start questioning your thoughts? Here's something simple but powerful. Not every thought you think is true. And when you start gently questioning your thoughts, everything begins to change. Imagine this. You notice the thought, "I'm terrible at this." Instead of believing it right away, you pause. You ask yourself, "Wait, is that true? Or is that just something I've been telling myself?" That moment of pause creates space. It gives you a chance to respond instead of react. And in that space, you get to choose a new thought. Something more honest. Something more helpful. Maybe, "I'm learning," or "I'm not where I want to be yet." And that's okay. This isn't about forcing fake positivity. It's about practicing curiosity, becoming a little more kind, a little more honest with yourself. Over time, those small mental shifts add up, and the way you think slowly becomes the way you live. Can changing your thoughts really change your life? It might feel hard to believe, but yeah. But yes, it really can. Not in some magical way. Not instantly. But over time, absolutely. Your thoughts influence your choices. Your choices become your habits. And your habits create your life. Think about someone who believes they're capable of growth. They'll try new things. They'll be okay with failure. They'll keep learning. Now think about someone who believes they're stuck, broken, or hopeless. They'll avoid risk. They'll stop trying. They'll shrink. The difference between those two people? It starts with a thought, a belief, a quiet repeated message in the mind. So yes, changing your thoughts won't solve everything. But it can be the first domino, the quiet first step that leads to a different day, a different way of being, and maybe even a different life. How do you start thinking differently when your mind feels stuck? This is where it gets real. Because sometimes, no matter how much we want to think more positively, our minds just won't cooperate. Maybe you're overwhelmed. Maybe you're tired. Maybe it feels like everything is just too much. That's okay. You don't have to jump to joy. You just have to reach for neutral. Instead of saying I'm a failure, try I'm having a hard day. Instead of nothing ever works for me, try today was difficult, but tomorrow's a new chance. These small shifts don't feel dramatic, but they're powerful because they interrupt the cycle. They tell your brain, hey, there's another way to see this. You don't need to force yourself into a fake smile. But if you can guide your thinking just a little, you open the door to change. Slowly, gently, honestly. What are you feeding your mind every day? Here's a question most of us don't ask often enough. What are you feeding your mind? Just like your body needs healthy food, your mind needs healthy thoughts. But in today's world, we're constantly surrounded by noise. Social media, news, opinions, expectations. If you're constantly feeding your brain messages of fear, comparison, or not good enough, of course you'll feel anxious and small. So the real question is, what are you choosing to consume? What voices are you letting in? Who are you listening to? What messages are you repeating in your mind? You don't have to block out the whole world, but you can be more selective. You can choose voices that inspire, uplift, and teach you. You can choose to spend more time in silence, more time reflecting, more time being kind to your own mind. And that choice? It changes everything. Can affirmations really work? Or are they just wishful thinking? You've probably heard of affirmations. Those short, powerful phrases like, I am strong, I can do this, or I am enough. Some people love them. Others think they're silly or fake. So, do they work? The answer is, it depends. If you say something you don't believe at all, your brain will probably reject it. But if you find a phrase that feels possible, and you repeat it often enough, your mind starts to listen. It starts to believe. And that belief becomes action. A good affirmation isn't magic. It's practice. It's training your brain to expect something better, something truer. And even if you don't feel it yet, sometimes just saying the words can remind you of who you could be. That's powerful. So yes, affirmations can work, not by wishing, but by gently shaping the way you speak to yourself. What would happen if you treated your thoughts like guests? Imagine this. Your thoughts are visitors. Guests in your mental house. Some are kind, some are noisy, some are rude. But none of them live there permanently, unless you invite them to stay. So the next time a harsh thought shows up, you're not good enough. You'll never change. This is too hard. Imagine it knocking at your door. You don't have to let it in. You can say, thanks for showing up. But I'm not hosting you today. This little mental trick can help create distance. You realize I have thoughts, but I'm not my thoughts. And that's a huge shift. It means you get to decide who stays, who gets your attention, who gets to influence your day. And slowly, your mental house becomes a calmer, kinder place to live. So, who are you becoming, one thought at a time? Let's come back to where we started. You become what you think. Not all at once. Not in a loud, dramatic way. But in the quiet daily rhythm of your mind. One thought at a time. One small belief at a time. Every day you're shaping your future. With the stories you tell yourself, the words you speak inside your head, and the thoughts you choose to repeat. So, who are you becoming? What kind of life are you building, thought by thought? You don't need perfect thinking. You don't need to be positive all the time. You just need to be aware, to pause, to choose a little more wisely. And if you do that, gently, consistently, you'll wake up one day and realize you've become someone stronger, kinder, and more free than you ever thought possible. And it all started with a thought, just one. Thanks for being here.